You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about, well, the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark. Stephanie White had a bunch of things to say on a podcast with Sue Bird. We got her talking about Caitlin Clark's work ethic. Okay. Comparing her to Taylor Swift. We got Stephanie White talking about free agency and roster expansion. All right. And obviously free agency is a big deal. We have no idea what the cap's going to be yet. We think it might be $5 million. All right. We think we might have expanded rosters, but we just don't know yet. All right. I think there's to be honest, I think what the owners have offered this league and these players is pretty fair. I mean, they're offering 4 times the amount of salary and some revenue sharing. I mean, okay. I mean, it's not what they're looking for, but there's just simply no way for that because the league has not turned a profit. The league just simply does not generate money like the NFL or NBA. So it's really impossible to ask for some kind of, ridiculous, anything close to a 50-50 split. It's just not attainable. The league as a whole makes so much less money than these other leagues. Her words about free agency I find kind of interesting. Let's listen to this.
And with Caitlin, she's a hard worker because of what she's been able to accomplish. But until you see that there's no wasted movements, no wasted reps, no wasted anything, you just have such a level of respect for how she goes about her work every day. And understanding the spotlight that she's on, understanding the weight that she carries because of who she is. And she's literally like Taylor Swift 2.0. And that somehow she's able to compartmentalize and come to the gym, get everything that she has to get done. She's off doing everything all the time, but when she's there, she's working.
It's kind of interesting because her tone about Caitlin has changed some. She's been in the past, I've made videos on it where it seems she wants to, dismiss or diminish some of the qualities of Caitlin Clark, right? The fact that she just come out and said she wants to build around Kelsey Mitchell, and it's like, wait a minute now, you don't want to build around the best player on the team, arguably the best player in the league, really? You don't want to do that? Young, up and coming on top of it? I mean, you're going to have one player longer than the other one if you're around. And you guys know I have issues with Stephanie White. And those issues are, I just feel like she oozes agenda that's not basketball related. And that bothers the hell out of me. So let's come over here. This was more things she said. She's talking about free agency in the offseason. Quote, I think we game plan for what we'd like to have. I think the way that things shake out in terms of what it looks like financially, we have a young core. So that will certainly impact our ability to make certain moves in free agency. I'm glad I'm not the GM, I can tell you that, White added. From a timing standpoint, how much time there will be to adjust, what it's going to look like, roster space, roster management, not just what it looks like financially. How many players are we going to have on our roster? What is it going to look like for us? We can't just think in terms of 1 year. What is it going to look like for the next 3 years? What can it look like for the next 3 years? What can it look like for the next 5 years? So I think the buffer of when we would have normally had 3 or 4 week time frame to look at it, it's not going to be there. So we're going to have to make decisions quickly. Our ability to sort of anticipate what might come down the pipe is not there. So hopefully we will be able to respond instead of react in a timely manner and whatever that time frame might look like. Yeah, and I've said, a lot of people believe that they've talked about they want to bring Kelsey Mitchell back, and I think there's a chance that she actually leaves. Okay, because I just think she's going to understand I had this elite kind of season, but I had this elite kind of season because Caitlin Clark was out and the focus was all on me offensively. And that's just not going to be the case going forward. Whereas Kelsey Mitchell could go somewhere like Chicago and she's going to be the dynamic scorer there. Imagine Kennedy Carter without the attitude problem. All right? And some of these teams around the league desperately need scoring. The Connecticut Sun, or wherever they're going to be, is another team I'm thinking about. But I do think they're going to try to sign her. They've brought up the youth movement a lot. And it does make you wonder, is there a monetary amount that maybe they're not willing to pay veterans in all this? Which, in my opinion, that may be cutting Kelsey Mitchell and Sophie Cunningham. And I almost get the feeling from things that we've heard from Sophie, she kind of knows that. And it just so happens, I just come to realize what I'm saying. Both of them went to Project B, or are going to Project B. That just popped into my head as I was saying that. As coaches and as former players, I want to see roster expansion. I want to see us be able to really have the opportunity to develop young players and young talent. There are a lot of players who have the potential to play in our league that just don't have an opportunity because there's not enough spots, and because when you're holding an 11 or 12-man roster, you got to have players who impact right away. We've seen it from an injury standpoint. We've had to go hardship route a number of times. If you have more roster spots than in your system every day, they're working in our system, developing every single day, and then they're ready when their number is called. I think we saw that last year. I mean, it's unimaginable that Odyssey Sims and Ari McDonald and Chloe Bibby, how are they not in the league with somebody? Some of these teams stunk from a talent, and that also goes to talent evaluation by leadership across the league. You got these people that are not even in the league right now. They come in and they're blatantly out. I mean, Ari McDonald looked like a starting point guard for most teams that don't have Caitlin Clark. Let's put it like that. I mean, what are we doing? Odyssey Sims, obviously capable of probably being like a six person off the bench. Seventh, eighth person, easily not on a team. I mean, who's evaluating these players across the league? It's wild. So, yeah, bigger rosters, bigger salary cap. They're trying to expand the season. I thought they were trying to expand the season to get ready to expand games, and I think that's part of it. But also a little relief as far as the amount of games played in a certain amount of time. But what we're really finding out is that's to choke off the Euro League and Project B off-season basketball. I'm telling you, they're going to shoot themselves right in the foot with the NC2A doing that. It's a terrible idea. I hate it. But anyway, so a lot of emphasis, multiple times. Stephanie White brings up young players here. Young players. I think this roster is going to look a lot different. And let's just be real. We don't need some of the dinosaurs on the team. The Natasha Howard types, the DeWanna Bonner type. Quit signing players that cannot run up and down the mother effing court. Natasha Howard looks slow as shit. trying to run up and down the court with this team. They couldn't do it. They're running in molasses wearing peanut butter shoes. She was running in place. Like Scooby-Doo trying to get away from some dude in a ghost mask. Tell me what you think. Are we at risk of losing Kelsey? Is that a thing? I think we're definitely at risk of losing Sophie. By the way, I think it was The Athletic had the Portland Fire drafting Chloe Bibby. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.